Hey, welcome! Today, we're going to dive into a skill that connects you to your car in a way that nothing else can, driving a manual transmission. Now, I know it can seem a little complicated, but trust me, by the end of this, you'll get the fundamentals and be all set to hit the road with some real confidence.
You can really think of it as a kind of dance between your feet and your hands. It takes a little bit of rhythm, for sure, but once you find that groove, man, it is so rewarding. So if you're ready to really take control and truly drive your car, you are in exactly the right place.
All right, so first things first, let's get you acquainted with your controls. Before you can start the dance, you gotta know the steps, right? You need to know the tools you're working with.
And that brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most important part of this whole process, the clutch. That third pedal way over on the left, that's your key to everything. It's like a big switch that connects and disconnects the engine's power from the wheels. It lets you tell the car what to do next, smoothly. Honestly, mastering the clutch is mastering the manual car.
So besides that all-important clutch, you've got your gear lever to pick your gears, and of course the gas and brake pedals you already know. The real magic, the art form here, is getting all four of these things to work together in perfect harmony. And that is exactly our goal today.
Okay, now for the part that I think feels the most intimidating for pretty much everyone starting out, that very first movement. We're going to break down how to get the car rolling from a dead stop into simple, repeatable steps. No stress. Safety first, always. Before you even think about turning that key, check the gear lever. Can you wiggle it side to side pretty freely? Good. That means you're in neutral. Then, press that clutch pedal all the way down to the floor. This is so crucial because it physically disconnects the engine from the wheels. It guarantees the car won't lurch forward the second you start it up.
So why do we always start in first gear? Well, because first gear is all about torque. Think about it like this. Torque is the raw twisting force you use to open a really stubborn jar lid. It's pure muscle. First gear is the strong man of the gearbox. It gives you all the power you need to get a heavy car moving from a complete standstill.
And this right here, this is that crucial seesaw motion we talked about. With your foot still holding the clutch to the floor, you just pop the lever into first. And now, the magic happens. As your left foot slowly comes up off the clutch, your right foot slowly presses down on the gas. It's a really delicate balance. Finding that sweet spot, we call it the bite point, where the engine connects and you get a nice, smooth takeoff.
And we're moving. Great job. Now it's time to build on that momentum. We're going to shift smoothly up through the gears to build some speed in the most efficient way.
You'll start to hear the engine rev up a bit. It's basically talking to you, telling you it's time for the next gear. Second gear is your absolute workhorse for lower speeds. It gives you a fantastic balance of power and control for getting through city traffic or making turns without the car feeling like it's struggling. And here's the pattern you're going to repeat for every single upshift. It just becomes this simple, easy rhythm. Clutch in and gas off, shift the gear, then clutch out and gas on. Once you get this down, I promise it becomes pure muscle memory. You won't even think about it.
So, as you pick up a little more speed, say around 20 or 25 miles per hour, it's going to be time for third gear. This is your go-to for just cruising comfortably through town. You'll feel the car get more settled, and the engine starts working a lot less hard. Now you're on a bit of a more open road, and you shift into fourth. You'll feel the car just relax. The engine noise drops way down. The vibrations lessen, and you're just moving along super efficiently. This is where you really start to feel that flow of driving a manual.
So we've built our momentum, and now it's time to hit the highway. This is where those final, top-end cruising gears really get to shine.
This is your destination gear, the one you've been working towards. Fifth gear, and sometimes even a sixth gear in newer cars, is designed for one thing and one thing only: maintaining speed with the least amount of effort from the engine.
So why is this a big deal? Well, as you can see here, being in that top gear means the engine is spinning at a much lower RPM. That's revolutions per minute. What that actually means is you're using way less fuel and putting a whole lot less stress on your engine, especially over long distances. It's smarter, it's cheaper, and it's just better for your car.
This slide does a perfect job of summing up the entire purpose of a gearbox. On one end, you've got first gear, all power, no speed, perfect for getting started. And on the complete opposite end, you've got fifth gear, all speed and efficiency, but very little raw power. Your job, as the driver, is to just navigate smoothly between these two extremes.
And in the end, it really all comes back to this one central idea. The goal isn't just to change gears, it's to do it smoothly. All that practice is about training your feet to work together like a team, to make every single shift feel completely effortless. That coordination, that's the true sign you've mastered it. So, there you have it. We've covered the what, the why, and the how. The steps themselves are pretty simple, but that feeling of control and connection with the road is just profound. You have the blueprint now. The only thing left to do is get out there and start your own journey.
Now, let's learn about the strongest gear, which is the reverse gear. We will also learn about the advantages and disadvantages of a manual transmission, then finalize with its maintenance and safe operation.
All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into something that, for a lot of drivers, is the heart and soul of the driving experience, the manual transmission. You know, the good old stick shift. Whether you've been driving one for years or you're just wondering what all the fuss is about, we are going to break it all down. And I want to kick things off with a little question for you. So what do you think is the most powerful gear in your car? Seriously, think about it. When you need pure, raw pulling power, that get me out of the mud kind of grunt, what's your go-to gear? Is it first? Maybe second? Well, the answer, it's probably not what you're thinking. Yep, you're looking at it. Reverse gear. Isn't that wild? It's the one we use to back out of a parking spot, but mechanically speaking, it's an absolute beast. It packs the biggest punch in the entire transmission. Now, this kind of flips everything we think we know about gears and speed on its head, right? So how is that even possible? Well, that brings us right into our first deep dive, the strongest gear. See, the secret to why reverse is so tough isn't some kind of automotive voodoo. It all comes down to its design. It's purpose-built for one job and one job only, delivering maximum muscle, or what we call torque. It's not about going fast at all. So here's the deal. Reverse gear uses something called straight-cut gears. You can almost picture them. They're just straight teeth designed for pure brute force. They lock together in this really direct way that gives you incredible pulling power. And you know that unique whining sound you hear when you're backing up? That's them. That's the sound of raw mechanical power. But here's the catch, and this is super important. That design is exactly why you have to be at a complete, total stop before shifting into reverse. If you try to do it while you're still rolling, even just a little bit, you can do some really, really nasty damage to your transmission. Okay, so this whole idea of strength versus speed, it's not just a weird quirk of reverse gear, it's actually the fundamental rule for your entire transmission. It's a trade-off. In every single gear, you're either choosing power or you're choosing speed. You just can't have the best of both worlds at the same time. Just think about it. Your lower gears, first and second, they're your heavy lifters. They give you all that oomph, that torque to get moving from a dead stop or to crawl up a really steep hill. But, you know, you're not winning any races in first gear. Then, on the other end of the spectrum, you've got your higher gears, like fourth and fifth. Those are your highway cruisers. They give up that pulling power in exchange for high speeds and, of course, better fuel efficiency. So the whole game is about choosing the right tool for the job at hand. And that word I keep using, torque, that's the key to everything. The simplest way to think about it is just as rotational force, or even better, the pulling power of your engine. It's the grunt that gets your car moving. So when you pick the right gear for the moment, you're not just making the drive smoother. You're actually using your engine's power the way it was designed to be used, and you're saving your transmission from a whole lot of unnecessary stress. Okay, so now we've got a handle on the mechanics, right? The nuts and bolts. But that leads to the really big question, the one that matters to you as a driver. Is a manual transmission actually the right choice for you? It's time to weigh the pros and cons. Look, the case for a manual is pretty strong. First off, control. You are in complete command, deciding exactly when and where to shift. That control also gives you way better engine braking. You know, where you downshift to let the engine help slow you down? It's fantastic for saving your brake pads on those long, steep hills. And because you have that direct line to the power of those low gears, manuals are often the top choice for tough terrain. Oh, and yeah, they're usually cheaper to buy and cheaper to fix. Can't argue with that. But of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. There's a flip side. Driving a manual definitely takes more skill, more concentration, and if you've ever been in bumper-to-bumper, stop-and-go traffic, you know it's a serious workout for your clutch foot. Plus, you have to treat it right. If you get lazy, like resting your foot on the clutch pedal while you drive, or you're just sloppy with your shifts, you can wear things out way faster and even cause some pretty expensive damage. A manual gearbox, it really does demand your respect. And you know what? That idea of respect leads us perfectly into our final section here.
It doesn't matter if you're just learning or you've been driving stick for decades. Knowing how to properly care for your transmission, that's the real key to mastering the drive and making sure your car lasts. So let's talk about how to drive for a lifetime.
All right, these 4 things right here, this is your foundation. Number 1, check your oil. Just like your engine, your transmission needs clean fluid to survive. Keep it fresh. Number 2, and this is a big one, get your foot off the clutch pedal when you're not shifting. Riding the clutch is a surefire way to wear out a critical part called the throwout bearing. Third, practice being smooth. Every clean, deliberate gear change reduces the stress on the entire system. And finally, just listen. Use your ears. Your car will tell you when something is wrong. A new grind or a weird whine isn't just a noise, it's a cry for help. And here are a few more absolute must-dos, the non-negotiables. First, always push that clutch pedal all the way to the floor before you shift. Every time. Second, never, ever force the gear lever. If it doesn't want to slide in smoothly, something's not right. Don't fight it. And yep, there it is again, our powerful friend, reverse. Only shift into it when the car is completely and totally stopped. Honestly, these simple habits are what make all the difference. They keep you safe, they keep your car healthy, and they're what separate the pros from the amateurs.
So let's just recap what we've covered. We started by discovering the secret superpower of reverse gear. We broke down that fundamental trade-off between power and speed. We've weighed the real-world pros and cons, and we've laid out the key habits for making your transmission go the distance.
So it all comes down to this one final question. Now you know how it all works. The mechanics, the trade-offs, the responsibility that comes with it. The only question left is, for you personally, is that extra control, that feeling of being totally connected to the machine, is it worth the challenge? That's a question only you can answer. Thanks for joining us.
If any part of this lesson was not fully clear, I encourage you to rewatch the video, pause where necessary, and take notes. Learning automotive systems is a step-by-step process, and repetition plays a key role in mastering both theory and practical skills. And if you found this lesson helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more automotive education content. Don't forget to comment below and turn on notifications so you never miss our future lessons. Thank you for taking the time to watch and learn with Divine Drive Automotives.